most accurate. It's kind of like astrology and things like that. Like they're fun to it's fun to know about. It's fun to be able to perceive it, but it's not always completely accurate. But to get started, I'm going to teach you the 6 main lines of palm reading, how to locate them on your hand, and what they mean. And so the 6 main lines are the lifeline, the headline, the heart line, the fate line, the sun line, and the health line. And so if you look at the little sticky note, the lifeline is the green line, and it is in between your pointer finger and your thumb, and then it goes down to the base. And when you're looking for the lines on your own hand, I feel like it's easier, instead of just singling it out, to look at it in comparison to all the other lines. It makes it kind of easier to find since everyone's lines are different, and there's a few of these that not everyone will have on their hand. So that's where the lifeline is if you're looking at the green line. And then the headline, it's the purple line. It starts right above the lifeline and kind of goes diagonally across your hand and ends about the middle of this part of your hand. And then after the headline, you have the heart line, the orange line. It can either start about right here in between your middle finger and your pointer finger, or it can start right in the middle of your hand and it goes right to the other side and kind of swoops down. But that one kind of varies. And then the next line is the fate line. This is one that everyone might not have. It's down the middle of your hand, but it could be crooked, it could be very faded. It's not one of the more prominent ones. But after that, it is the sun line, and that one not everyone has also. That can start from anywhere up top near your pinky or right in the middle of your hand and kind of swoops inward near your thumb. And then the last line is the health line, and that usually kind of springs off of your lifeline and goes upwards in between your pinky and your ring finger. But now that you know where they are, I'll go through and tell you what each of those mean specifically for you. Okay, so your lifeline, so if you're looking at the length of your line, it kind of measures like what kind of life you'll be leading. It doesn't really tell you like how long you will live. But so say if your lifeline is very long and goes all the way from the base to the edge of your hand, that means you'll be living a very long and not long necessarily, but a very healthy life, very fulfilling life. If there seems to be like 2 lines where the lifeline should be, if it's kind of like crinkled a bit, it means you're very secretive. You hold in a lot of your personality and kind of stay to yourself. And then if the line splits off into a second line, that means you'll face a lot of new directions in your life. So after the lifeline, you can go to the headline. And some people's ends are on the middle, but if it goes to both ends of your hand, that means specifically that you're a very focused person, self-centered in the sense that you're very hardworking and you work for yourself, put yourself first. And then if it forks off, you're actually supposed to be good at public speaking and social encounters, very talkative person. And then that's about it for the headline. So if you go over to the heart line, that's the one right above your headline, and specifically, it usually curves in nature, but if you have a very prominent curve, if it goes all the way up your hand, that means you're very nurturing, very generous. You take on mother and father-like roles in your relationships, and you're just a very caring person. If the line is kind of broken or crooked, that means you tend to be unfaithful in your relationships, so watch out. And then the fate line, that's one that not everyone has. And if you don't have a fate line, which it's kind of hard to find, if you kind of squeeze your hand, it's usually easier to tell where it is. But if you look at that and you can't find it, that means, sorry, you kind of have an uneventful life, maybe a little boring. But anyway, if it's forked, that means you have a lot of career opportunities. Not sure what those are, but good luck. And then if it's a short line, it kind of stops in the middle of your hand near the headline, then that means you usually have poor judgment in others, and you're not good at reading people's emotions. But moving on to the sun line, that's the one that kind of curves this way, and the sunlight, if you don't have it, sorry. If you do, that means you're very lucky and your life will be full of blessings. So hopefully you do. And then if it's kind of blurred, if you can't really see it very well, that means you're more prone to like be less focused, have a harder time in school and work, and things like that. And then if it is very prominent, if you can very well pick out your sunline, that means you're very hardworking, and that will get you pretty far. And then moving on to the last line, that's the health line. This kind of measures your health. So if you're looking at this and you're like, oh no, it's kind of wavy, that means you might have like stomach issues, and if it's blurry, it means you have little to no stamina. And then if it kind of crosses the lifeline, the green, and goes off into its own direction, that means you're more prone to ill health. But if you have some very negative lifelines, don't worry, it's probably not all that 100% correct. Just live your life, will be fine. But those are the 6 main lines. There's other things you can look up and learn for yourself, but those are the few that I like the most. And even though it's not the most accurate, it's fun to listen to, and I find it very interesting. And you can always like pull it out and look at like your friends, or like if you're meeting someone, it's a fun conversation starter. But those are the 6 main lines.